Hello guys. So in this session, we are going to learn how to monitor Docker containers with Prometheus and Grafana. Right. So let's start. So first of all, as you can see here, some prerequisites. So first of all, we need a AWS instance, right? That Ubuntu 22.04 LTS instance. Then we need a sudo user with sudo access. Then we need to install Docker on Ubuntu server with required permission. And here we need to open port number 9090 3000 8080 and 22. Right. So that's the some prerequisite to how to monitor Docker container with Prometheus and Grafana. So let's start. So first of all, here we need to create EC2 instance. We need to install, start and enable Docker service through AWS EC2 user data. Right. So as you can see, first of all, launch an EC2 instance and follow the usual steps for launching an EC2 instance through the AWS management console. So here I have already installed my AWS EC2 instance, and as you can see, I have already connected to my terminal. Okay. Now, first of all here, let's start. So the first step is we need to update the system packages, right? So let's update our system package using this command. And then the second one, to update my system packages. Okay. So it's done. Yeah. So I'm going to clear my screen first. Okay. Now, the next step is we need to install Docker, right? Docker dependencies. So I'm going to install Docker dependencies. So yeah, it's done. Let's clear the screen first. Now, the next step is we need to add Docker official GPG keys in Ubuntu using this following command. So let's add Docker official GPG keys. Okay. Now the next command is we need to add Docker repository in Ubuntu. So I'm going to add the Docker repository. So app is also done. Now the next step is we need to update my system package. Okay. And now I'm going to install Docker, right? Using this following command. So as you can see, it's installing Docker on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. So yeah, it's done. So I'm going to clear my screen first. Okay. Now let's start our Docker using sudo systemctl start Docker. Then let's enable our Docker. So as you know how to enable. Now let's check the status of our Docker. So as you can see, it's active running. That means we have successfully installed Docker. So okay, I'm going to clear my screen first. Now let's check the next step. Now let's add the permission to our Docker, right? Using this chmod command. Okay. Now the next step is here, create Nginx Docker containers. So we need to create Nginx Docker container. So I'm going to create a file index.html. So I'm going to create here using my favorite editor Nano. And here we need to paste this code into this line. So let's paste here. Okay. And now after that, it's done. Now, the next step is we need to create Docker file for engineers. So let's create Docker file, sudo nano and our Docker file. And here we need to paste this below code. Let's save the file and exit. If I run the ls command, as you can see, our two files created here. Okay, let's clear the screen first. Now the next step is let's build our image using docker build -t nginx dot. So as you can see, it's building our image. Okay, it's done. Now the next step is here. Let's here docker run this image. Okay, let's run this image using this 8080 port number. So okay, it's done. Now let's clear the screen first. Now if I run the docker ps, as you can see our image, that's 7 seconds ago, right? Okay. That means you have successfully created our image. The port number is 8080 and the time is 6 seconds ago, right? Okay. Now the next step is run Prometheus using Docker container. So we need to run our Prometheus using Docker container. So how to run? So first of all, let's create a Prometheus configuration file, prometheus.yaml file. So I'm going to create sudo nano Prometheus configuration file and I'm going to paste this code. So this is our configuration file, right? So I'm going to use this code from here to here. And here, as you can see, we need to change our server IP, our server IP, that means our instance IP. We need to paste here. So here is my instance. I'm going to paste here and save the file, Control X, 5 4S, then enter. Okay. Now it's successfully saved. Now run the Prometheus Docker container. After that, we need to run this Prometheus to Docker container. So how to run? So first of all, we need to run this command. As you can see, it's pulled complete. It's pulling our image. Okay, it's done. Now here, after that, let's create Docker container for Prometheus. So we need to run this command to access our email, access our Prometheus in browser. So okay, it's done. So let's access our Prometheus in browser. So how to access? So first of all, we need to our instance IP and the port number of Prometheus is 9090. So as you can see, this is our dashboard of Prometheus, right? If I click on status and go to the targets, so here as you can see Prometheus and the status up and labels and the last scrap and so on, right? So that's our Prometheus, right? So as of now, we have only one job here, Prometheus. Okay. Okay, that's it. Now the next step is here to integrate Docker container with Grafana. So how to integrate Docker container with Grafana? So first of all, we need to create this file, okay, to this location. So let's create this file to this location. So first of all, here I'm going to open this file with this location. So here I'm going to use this and here we need to paste this code. Okay, let's save the file and exit. Okay. After that here, let's restart our Docker. Okay, after creating this file, we need to restart our Docker. So let's restart our Docker. Now let's check the status of our Docker. So as you can see, it's running. Okay. Now here, if I run Docker ps, so as you can see, so let's clear the screen first and let's run Docker ps. So as you can see, there is no any container ID, image and so on, right? So here, first of all, we need to run this. First of all, Nginx, because here we have run Docker restart. So that's why there is no any container ID. So first of all, I'm going to run this Nginx and then Prometheus. Okay. Now run Docker ps. So as you can see, now here we have two container ID, one for Prometheus, one for Nginx. Okay. Okay. Now here let's check the matrix. So how to check matrix? So first of all, here we need to open this port number 9323. So let's open so let's copy our instance IP and hit on browser then colon 9323/matrix. So as you can see the matrix, right? Okay. Now, after successfully scrap our matrix, let's check the next step. Now the next step is add new Docker job target in Prometheus. So we need to add our Prometheus new Docker job in our Prometheus configuration file. So first of all here, let's run the Docker PS here. Okay. Then after that here we need to inside this directory /etc Prometheus. Sorry, first of all, okay, after running this docker ps command, let's run this command, and here after that we need a Prometheus container id. So here is our Prometheus container id, right? So let's copy the Prometheus container id and paste here, and after that the next is /bin sh. Okay, now let's hit enter. Okay, after that here we need to go to this location, that's etc Prometheus. Okay, and here we need to open our Prometheus file using this vi editor. Here we have only used this editor, only one editor vi, and here let's add our job, new job docker, right? So here first of all press I for modify, and let's add new job here. Job name is docker, and scrap time, interval time 5 seconds, and static config. So here, first of all, you need to careful about your indentation. Okay. And here you need to enter your instance IP, right? So my instance IP is here. Okay. Now check for once. Okay, job name docker, scrap interval 5 second, target ports, and here my instance IP and the target port number is 9323. So let's save the file. Press escape :WQ exclamation and hit on enter. Okay. Now enter exit for exit. Okay. After that here, let's restart our Docker. Okay. So we need to restart our Docker first. So how to restart? So enter a command docker restart and your Prometheus container ID. So here is my Prometheus container ID, right? And enter. Okay. Now if I enter docker here, so as you can see, it's a status of 5 seconds ago, right? That we have restarted. And now if I go to my Prometheus and now go to the status and go to the target. So now we have two jobs here, right? As you can see, we have two jobs here, Docker as well as Prometheus, and the state is up and the labels, last scrap duration, and there is no any errors. Okay. Okay, that means you have successfully added new job in our Prometheus configuration file. Okay. Now the next step is we need to install and run Grafana. So how to install and run Grafana using Docker? So first of all, we need to run this command to access our Grafana in browser. I'm going to clear my screen first. And as you can see, it's running, it's pulling image from Grafana. Okay, it's almost done. Okay. Now let's copy the instance IP. And the Grafana port number is 3000. And click on login. So default username and password of Grafana is admin. Click on login. And if you want to change the new password, then enter a new password for security. Confirm new password and click on submit. Okay, it's done. Now we have successfully installed Grafana and we have successfully access our Grafana in browser. Now the next step is we need to add Prometheus data source in Grafana. So how to add? So click on this data source, Prometheus, select Prometheus, and here name Prometheus, then scroll down, and here we need to enter the Prometheus URL from here to here. And keep as it is, and now click on save and test. So successfully query the Prometheus API, right? It's done. Now go to the home, and now here click on this menu and click on explore. And here if you want to check the Docker metrics through Prometheus, so here first of all I'm going to open this and select metrics. So here I'm going to select this matrix engine CPUs. Okay, and the select label is job, select value Docker. Okay, now click on run query, and the time last 5 minutes ago. So as you can see, the bar and lines and stack and so on, right? So that's the query, that's the metric for graph here. We said the Grafana will fetch the number of engine CPUs and metrics here, right? Okay, that's the metrics that Grafana will fetch the number of engines and CPU here, as you can see. Okay, then now here, now after that here, click on home. And if you want to check the dashboard, right here, if you want to check the monitor Docker containers with Grafana, if you want to check the dashboard, then click on this dashboard, create your first add visualization, then Prometheus. And here after that, here, select matrix. So here I'm going to select this matrix, states container. Yes. Okay. And label, state, and the value is running, right? And now click on this run query, and your last 5 minutes ago. So as you can see the dashboard, right? And if you want to apply, so if I, as you can see the dashboard, right? Now it's in 3, right? So that's the metrics. Then that's the metrics to show stopped containers. Sorry, running. So we have state is running, right? Here our state is running. So that's why, that means that's metric shows the running containers. If you want to check the stop container, then you can change the running state running with stop. Then you can you will have the stopped containers. So now there is a running containers, right? Then if you want to check the pause containers, then you can change the state pause. Then it will show pause containers, right? So that's the metrics from Docker metrics for Prometheus, right? So that's the dashboard. Okay. So yeah, that's it. If you want to check, then you can go to the apply and check from here also. Okay. So that's it. So here we have learned, in this task we have learned how to monitor Docker containers with Prometheus and Grafana. So thank you for watching and I hope you understand.